Peace and blessings, everyone. In just a moment, we're going to begin with day 2 of our challenge, Claiming Your Spiritual Power Challenge. So we're going to give ourselves a moment as people are tuning in here. Sister Jennifer, Victoria, Jillian, Glinda, Tatiana is with us, and Dementia, Penny, Danielo, Energy. Good. I see all you beautiful people tuning in from around the world. Christian, the great psychic. God. Vegas, Abby, Sheila, Nichols, Shen, Nichols, Chief, Iris. Beautiful. I wonder, did you guys watch any of the services today? I'm going to give a moment before I start giving you the challenge. Because today is day 2 of the challenge of Claiming Your Spiritual Power Challenge. And I want you to be aware that you do have spiritual power. And that the many individuals that are walking on the planet right now, they're kind of cut adrift. They don't understand their full potency. They don't understand the power. They don't understand that they're loaded and coated with infinite potential. They don't understand that there's so much within them and within you. Because that which is within you is greater than that which is within the world. But many people are living, projecting all this power onto the world of effects and circumstances and situations and people and places and things. And it's called a projection. It's a projection of the power that's within us onto the world. People project power onto politicians. They project power onto celebrities. They project power onto news reporters. They project power out there all the time. But what I want you to know is that you are projecting power through your mind. Yesterday, we talked about your power being your real identification. That you're more than merely where you were born geographically, more than who your parents were, what schools you went to. That your real ID is luminosity itself, the light that lights up every man, every woman that comes into the world. That's your real ID. And so that's your superpower, your real identity, and you get that through meditation and high fellowship. And today, I want you to know the power of your mind. When you begin doing spiritual work, your mind becomes an avenue of awareness, not just a law of everything that's been imprinted on it. I want you to hear this now. You are not your mind. You have a mind. You are not your mind. You have a mind. And your mind is either a set of imprints that have become laws. For instance, you may be some superstition that's alive in your mind. Oh, if I sit in a cold draft, I'll catch a cold. Listen, if your immune system is strong, you can be outside. You've seen people outside skiing. You've seen people outside sitting in a draft, they don't catch colds. Why? Because their immune system is strong, they don't believe it. But there's all kinds of superstitions. Your mind may have been imprinted with, I'm not good enough. I'm unworthy. You may have been imprinted with, I'll never have enough. You may have been imprinted with, oh, in my family lineage, no one's ever been successful. In my family lineage, there's so much dis-ease and unhealth. No. Those are imprints that have become laws in your mind. So doing spiritual practice, your mind becomes an asset rather than a liability. This is why you embrace affirmations. This is why you embrace declarations and decrees. This is why you embrace thought for food, which is high conversation and reading of great spiritual material. This is why you immerse yourself into a spiritual teaching and a spiritual community, so you're hearing truth over and over and over again. Even if you hear the same principles over and over and over again, the mind then begins to be clarified so that it becomes an avenue of awareness. What do I mean by that? Your mind is either projecting power, possibility, beauty, potential outside of yourself, or it is an avenue of awareness, seeing all of that everywhere, but you're embracing it from within you. That you know when you look at someone that you admire, you're actually looking at that same energy within you. So you see, remember the statement? That beauty is in the eyes of the beholder? So you're actually seeing the beauty, but that beauty is within you. You see somebody doing something great, then that potential is within you. Not necessarily doing the same thing, but it becomes a point of inspiration for you to do you. So what is your superpower? Your superpower is awareness. You becoming aware. Imprinting your own mind so that your mind works for you and not against you. I'll tell you a secret. Prior to me establishing Agape, but after my first initial spiritual awakening as an adult, I turned my garage into a soundproof room. I had mattresses against the windows so that I could scream and declare and decree and affirm with no one hearing me. And I would go in to the laboratory of my mind and soul every day. And I had mirrors in there, chairs. And I would look at the mirror and I would look at myself and I would create an affirmation for the day. And I would do it in 3 ways. I would look at the mirror and look at myself and I would say, you, Michael. I'm going to make this up right now. You, Michael, are poised, confident, articulate, and spiritually powerful. I'd say that over and over and over again. Then I would look at the mirror and I would talk about myself. I say, he, Michael, is poised, confident, articulate, and spiritually powerful. Then I'd look at myself and I would say, I, Michael, am poised, confident, articulate, and spiritually powerful. So I would do this mirror work and I would operate from 3 ways. And then I would write it down, those same kind of affirmations. I may have been working with prosperity. I may have been working with health. I may have been working with self-worth. And I would write it. I, Michael, he, Michael, you, Michael. And on the column to the right, whatever the ego would say, I would write it down. Maybe the ego would say, I don't believe this. Ego might say, this is never going to work. Oh, you're not worthy. I would write down what the ego would say, and then that would be what I would use for my next round of affirmation until I imprinted my mind with a new law. Health, prosperity, success, and well-being. Now here's what so this is what's going on. I'm writing it, so I'm using the tactile senses. I'm reading it, visual. I'm saying it, verbal. I'm listening to it, audible. So I'm getting the physical, the visual, the saying, and the hearing. I'm using my senses to change the mind so it's becoming an asset rather than a liability. How do you claim your spiritual power? You change your mind so that it becomes an avenue of awareness rather than a liability repeating things that aren't true. I'm not good enough. No one likes me. I'm unlovable. I'll never make it. Life is hard until you die. I never get an opportunity. Opportunity came a few years ago and I blew it. You can look at your mind and you can see all of that is going on. Oh, I should have done something years ago, but it's too late for me. I'm too old. I'm too black. I'm too light. I'm too straight. I'm too gay. I'm too whatever. The mind, all those things that the mind is saying are superstitious laws that become your experience until you change it, until your mind becomes an asset. So you can take anything your mind is saying that's not true. What do I mean by true? Capital T, truth. You're an emanation of light and love and beauty and intelligence. That's truth. You're an eternal being. If you heard me speak today at Agape, I spoke to some of this. You can go on the archives on the website or YouTube, you can watch the service. And as I've taught over the years, and you'll hear me teach it in the class on Tuesday at a deeper level, a lie believed acts as a law until it is neutralized. So if the mind is spinning out lies and you believe those lies, they become the law of your being. And as hard as you might try to change the external world, you can't do it because you can't outrun your own belief. So when you begin to talk to yourself and write about what's real, you're changing the pattern of your mind so that your mind becomes an asset. You're not the mind, but you have one. So you might as well allow your mind to be an asset. It means you're going to have to catch your mind when it's saying all manner of things that aren't true. I'm not good enough. I blew my opportunities. Now you know, this deal with that one right now. I blew up my opportunities when I was younger. Please. Here's the lie. Remember this lie? Opportunity only knocks once. You better take it. That's a lie. Opportunities are infinite. You live in a field of infinite opportunities, and you live in a field of infinite potential. So opportunity doesn't just knock once. Opportunity is always knocking, and it's always available. The question is, are you available? You have seen so many people start their businesses when they were 60 years young. Many people have gone into different ways of being successful at 65 years young, you know, and they didn't say to themselves, oh, when I was in my 20s or 30s or 40s, I blew my opportunities and I should have done what I should have done when I was 42 or whatever the case may be. No, they knew that opportunity was still knocking. And what did they do? They answered. That's just one lie that people tell themselves. Opportunity only knocks once. No, that's a lie. We want to erase that from the mind. What's another lie? I'm not worthy. Why would you say that to yourself? Every single being is an emanation of the Most High. Every single being is to be an exclamation point for infinite potential. So not only are you worthy, here's the kicker, you're not just worthy, you have a mandate from the universe to activate, well, discover and activate and share your gifts and talents. And it doesn't matter how young or how old you think you might be. It doesn't matter whether you're 67 or 80 or 85. It doesn't matter if you're 21 or 27 or 28. It doesn't matter. Why? There's no age in the spirit. You are an eternal being. Opportunities are all around you. So what are you going to do? I'm challenging you to activate your spiritual power. I'm challenging you. Yesterday, the challenge was around identity. Today is the challenge around the mind. The mind is to be an avenue of awareness. Now, what happens when you begin to clear up some of these lies? Your perception changes and you begin to see differently. You know, and you begin to be sensitive to the lies, and you begin to be sensitive to the truth. What do I mean by that? I can remember about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was walking in the lobby of this building, and the television happened to be on in the building. So as I walked by, the news was on, and immediately I was aware that everything that was being said was a lie. I didn't have to even stop and see what they were saying. I was just kind of, they're saying lies. And then when I focused in on what they were saying, it was absolutely lies. You know, the newscaster was just telling a lie. It wasn't his fault. He was just giving it as he was being given. That was his job, to be an actor and to report, quote unquote, the news. But it wasn't truth. It was a lie. It was a superstition. It wasn't real. It was the real, R-E-E-L, but not the R-E-A-L. You'll become sensitive to the lies that are being espoused, and you become sensitive to the truth. Your mind will become an avenue of awareness. And then after a while, you become sensitive to see. What will you see? The presence that is never an absence. What will you see? Opportunities. What will you see? Possibilities. What will you see? Potential. Infinite potential within you. What will you see? Life is for you and not against you. What will you no longer see? Obstacles and hindrances. And you will begin to see that the tombstones that your mind has laid out for you will become stepping stones to greater reality. You'll live a progressive life. Something that I said today in the service, I spoke about the fact that life is continual, it's forever. And I reminded people of that truth, only to remind people that as an eternal being, do you want to be this version of yourself forever? Likely you're saying no. You want to keep growing and unfolding. Now, when you establish an intention to embrace the next great vision and version of yourself, rather than to try to manipulate other people or to manipulate circumstances, you'll begin to see life differently, and your frequency will have the tendency to create the condition for excellence around you. Doesn't mean you won't have to get involved. Doesn't mean you may not have to have honest conversations with people. It's not what I'm saying. But your frequency will begin to hang out in the atmosphere of the highest and best. You'll live there before it manifests. Oh, this is so important. If we want to be builders, architects, visionaries of the beloved community, we have to live there vibrationally before it manifests. If you want your life to be prosperous, successful, you have to vibrationally live there before it manifests. And so, you want your mind to be an asset, to be an avenue of awareness. And so, as I did many years ago, and continue to do so, you want to make sure that the lies that the mind is saying, that sometimes it's been said for so long that it becomes a part of your emotional body. Do you actually have emotions around unworthiness, emotions around failure, emotions around regret? So it's mental and emotional, but it can be changed. It can be changed, but you have to participate. So, when you sign up for the class, the Activated Life, and the information, of course, is in the link in my bio. For 5 weeks, you're going to get instruction and teachings and spiritual practices that will allow you to clean up your mind so that you can live in a field of success and harmonizing good and well-being even before it manifests, and then you'll stabilize and then watch the manifestation occur. I know this for sure. It sounds kind of interesting to me that I've been teaching in one way, shape, form, or another for over 40 years. I'm not even biologically that old. But I'm saying that to say that there's something within me that's activated and wants you to have that same feeling around success, the feeling around everything is unfolding perfectly, all of my needs are met, life is good. I'm not talking about life experience, I'm talking about life itself. Life is magnificent, and that we want to live the magnificent life. This is day 2, claiming your spiritual power challenge. Reminding you that the Activated Life class will start Tuesday evening. Go to my bio, end this Instagram live. Some of you are already exploring Agape's website. You can go to the university page and sign up. However you sign up, do it. Bring a friend, have them sign up so you guys can have great conversation afterward, to be in support of each other. Because one of the things that happens is that when you begin to change, it affects your relationships. You see, someone was reading my book, Spiritual Liberation. They just finished it, and they were telling me that they didn't do anything different in their life, but people were coming up to him and saying, "You've changed. There's something different about you. What's going on? What are you doing?" He hadn't changed one habit yet, but his vibration had changed, and they noticed that there was something different about him. You will change for the better. Your mind, you have one, but you're not your mind. Let it be an avenue of awareness of that which is real, rather than a display of superstitious thought and beliefs that aren't true about you. You can do this, and you can be this. Have a bright day. I will see you tomorrow for day 3 of our challenge.